Hi everyone, I want to talk to you today about MAC makeup. Someone asked me why I chose MAC, and it's plain and simple. I walked into Dillard's and they helped me. I used to use Pure Minerals and some Bare Essentials. The only thing I used from Bare Essentials was my eye makeup. And I went in like, oh my goodness, maybe about 15, 18 years ago, something like that. And I went into an Ulta store because I thought my makeup needed a fresh look. And they took off my makeup, they sat me, they sat me down, took off my makeup, and they grabbed a product called Pure Minerals. And I loved it. It was great, but I did. I walked in looking one way and I walked out looking pretty much the exact same way. It didn't seem like my eyes looked any different, my eyeshadow or my cheeks looked any different. So anytime you go in there and you're wanting a makeover at Sephora, Ulta, or Dillard's, or wherever you go, don't expect, like some of the things you see on TV, you go in one way and wow, you come out like a whole other person. You're not going to, because you are you. So I didn't come out with like my colors being any different, which I actually kind of hope that maybe my blush might look a little different. Maybe they had a different color than the one I was using, or my eyeshadow, and it would look a little bit different. I didn't expect, wow, a big, oh my gosh, I go home and I walk through the door and honey, I'm home, and he's wondering, who is this woman who walked through the door? So no, I was not expecting something like that. But little changes, little change in the color, but it turned out that the colors I had were the ones that were for me. So anyway, later, as I'm getting older, what worked for me then no longer worked for me. One thing I loved about Pure Minerals is once a year, they have their 4-in-1 buy one get one free. It's usually in the summer, and I loved it. I would stock up for the entire year on that stuff. But then as I started getting older, I noticed, okay, this is not working anymore, because I didn't have to use foundation because it was inside a compact. You had your concealer, your foundation, your finishing, the powder, everything in one compact. So I really loved it. But then I noticed, it's not really loving me anymore. And I went into a Sephora store, and I was in the mall that day, and I just, said, okay, this is the problem I'm having. What can I do? So they really didn't give me anything else. They had Pure Minerals there too, so they stuck me with Pure Minerals. Except now they were giving me a foundation on top of a powder. The 4-in-1 powder that I was already using. And they did change my eyeshadow. So I thought that was pretty good. And my blush. When I usually use a really pink, well, not really, really pink, but a nice pink color. Now it was peachy and peachy color. And my eyeshadow had more peach colors than pink. So I was kind of happy with it. I was like, great. That's what I kind of wanted, a little change. But then they discontinued carrying the colors I was using. And the eyeshadow was the Bare Minerals. And it came in something like this. And they quit carrying those colors. So I was like, okay, and I had gone into Sephora time and time again, and they would send me, here, try this. They weren't really helping me. And despite sitting in there, and you've got to pay to sit there so that they can, do stuff on you, they really didn't. Every time I wanted to do that, they were busy. And there was nobody else in the store. The person, the sales associate, was doing her own makeup. They were always busy. And I was like, okay, I'm here to pay so that you can help me find what I need. But instead, just, here, try this. Here, try this. Here, why don't you give this a shot? And I didn't like that. I come home, I kind of tried on myself. Oh, I didn't like it. And I went back. And so it was like, I did that a couple of times. Well, maybe about 3 or 4 times I did that, and I just got fed up with it. And I was leaving and I walked past a Dillard's and I thought, what the heck? So I walked inside Dillard's, and the very first one, very first counter there was MAC. And there was a lady that was there, and she just asked me, you know, is there something I can help you with? I hadn't even really taken more than 2 steps in the store when she asked. The Land comb, sorry, was right next to them. And, you know, she could have asked as well. Estee Lauder was a few steps away, and you know, Clinique wasn't that far either, you know, just right there. But the thing is, she asked. She was the first one that asked, you know, may I help you? So I told her, you know, the issues I had been having. I said, okay, I use this one, but I really don't feel it's for me anymore. And my eyeshadow, it's just not, they don't carry it anymore, so it's not really working anymore. So she was very, very nice. She sat me down, wiped everything off, says, let's start with a clean slate. Next thing I know, we're working on this one. And this is another one I use. And then she says, you know, to use the concealer and to use, well, all this is out of order, mind you. But these are the different things, you know, using my prep and primer here. And the concealer, and of course you need some, you know, because sometimes I'm up late grading, or I just can't sleep, I'm in too much pain, whatever it is. Here's for the Rapid Eye. You know, so I had, you know, she sat down, she took the time to sit there and, okay, you're gonna need this, 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 and this. And she tried it on me, and no, this color is not for you. And in case some of y'all are wondering, why do I have this paper in here? It is because if I close my blush, I have the hardest time opening this compact. I can open any of the other compacts with ease, but I cannot open my blush. So that's why this is here. It's kind of hard for me to open that. But she really helped me. The ladies there, they really helped. They were really friendly. And so that is pretty much why I picked MAC. And I have stayed with MAC now for about 3 years. And I had one person ask what kind of makeup did I use, and I said I use MAC. I use MAC from beginning to finish. You know, you've got your, you know, your mist and your prep all the way to your lips. So I've got everything from beginning to finish. And granted, like I said, this is not all the MAC that I have. And she says, aren't you kind of old to be using MAC? If you have the money to spend something, you are not too old. You can use whatever brand. She was telling me, shouldn't you be using something like Estee Lauder? And the truth being, I thought I was going to go in there and buy Estee Lauder. I remember when I was 19 years old and I used Estee Lauder. I was in high school, I used Clinique. But she thought that I was too old to be using MAC. This year, it's 2019, I will be 46 years old. I have no problem in telling anyone how old I am, because age is just a number. And if you have money to buy something, buy it. If it makes you feel and look good, buy it. Why does it matter how old you are? And why does, granted, there are some things such as clothes that, okay, some things you do not need to be wearing. You're a little too old to be wearing some of those things. Like, you don't want to see your 70, 80-year-old grandmother, you know, in Daisy Duke shorts. Okay, you know, I can understand, but nowadays, some of these grandmothers, they look really good. They're holding, you know, their own, as well as grandfathers. I hope that when my husband and I are up there, 70 and 80, that we'll look good. I don't know, hopefully. So I understand there are some things that you're thinking, no, you don't need to be wearing something like that. You need something more your age. When it comes to makeup, there really isn't an age for it. I don't think, anyway. she was saying about how some of my eyeshadow is glittery, and she thought that I'm too old to be wearing anything that glitters. Well, I like it. I've gotten lots of compliments on how it looks on me, so I'm thinking I don't really care what you think. She was probably about 19 or 20, maybe 21, the person who's telling me this. But basically, you have to love you, love who you are, pretty much love the skin you're in. I think some commercial even says that. And my husband will tell me over and over again just how beautiful he thinks I am. I may not be beautiful to you, but to the one that counts, I am. And that's what you have to be too. That's how you need to think. Maybe to someone else, you are not beautiful. But to the one that counts, you are the most beautiful person. And so it doesn't matter whether you're going to use MAC or not. And MAC is pricey. So whether you're using MAC and it works for you, keep using it until it uses, whatever age. I mean, until, your use of it, like I said with my Pure Minerals, when I got older, it didn't work on me so much anymore. It didn't give me the same coverage. So whether you're using MAC or you're going to use Revlon, whatever works for you, whatever makes you feel beautiful, use it. Just be happy being you and know that someone out there loves you and thinks you're perfect just the way you are. And I just want to say thank you to the subscribers, sorry, man, am I out of it today? And I'm going to leave all these little weird, freaky bloopers in here because usually we cut them off so that it's as crisp and smooth as possible for y'all to see. But today, I'm just going to leave them in there. That, and I'm sure my son will appreciate not all the outtakes, so to speak, the stopping, starting, because he is my cameraman. And then I have another one who is our producer, so to speak, who puts everything all together for me. Well, for all of us. I just want you to know that my children and I, we have never ever been one of those that we want to be YouTube famous. I started making these videos because I'm the one in the store that is reading the reviews. I want to know what people are saying. How do they react to this? Do they think that this is good? Does it smell nice? Does it stink? Does it work? I mean, does it melt away your makeup as soon as you spray it on there? What? Is this really going to stay on? Or how cakey is it? How does it smell? Does it cover well? I want to know. I want to know the good and the bad reviews before I buy some things. And I have to say, this one person that I knew used to work in a Best Buy, and I needed to go and purchase a computer. I was going to go buy a computer, and this person told me this is the best computer that they have. It's got great, they sell things. It's got great stuff in there. I was sitting there on my phone looking up the reviews to that computer. And he said, don't you trust me? I work here. I know this. I'm not going to steer you wrong and blah, blah, blah. I didn't take his word for it. Why? Because he is there to make a sale. Whether he's on commission or not, because, some of the stores like Dillard's, they are on commission. And they're going to say whatever they want to push their product on you so they can make the sale and you are out the door. So I didn't take his word for it. I actually was reading all the reviews, and then I made my own decision whether or not to still buy it, which I did. But I wasn't taking his word for it. On another thing, we were buying a TV, and there was no reviews on this one website for Best Buy for this TV. But I did find reviews for this TV on another website But the manager was telling me, oh, this is great TV. It's, you know, wonderful. It's got great color and blah, 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 blah. I went against everything that I had, against the reviews that I read, and I took his word for it. We got home, and we have to use, and well, we did, but we took them off. We used speakers so that we could hear the TV better. And then it was so loud, you barely turned it up to one little bar on the TV, and you could hear it clear across the house, not the room, the house. So we could hear everything that my kids were listening to. So we had to eventually take that off. And I'm just now looking, I'm sorry, my brushes are dirty, except for one. That one was from a different video. But anyway, it's still Mac. It's just a cleaning video that I was doing on how to clean stuff, using a knockoff, because as you can see, my brush cleaner is missing. It's because they were out. So I had to kind of improvise, and it does really great. As you can see, great. But anyway, I'm that person that I'm reading reviews, I'm watching the videos, and I'm not watching just for the heck of it. There are some people, they just like to watch videos. I'm watching because I want to know. I want to know, how does it smell? Because I don't want to put anything on my face or anywhere on my body that stinks. Then you've got to walk around with it all day or sleep in it all night. You know, I want to know, if I'm going to put on this makeup and I step outside, this is Texas, I don't want it to melt from my car to the front door. I don't want that. You know, walk in the store and I'm just all drenched and I got lines going down my face. I don't want that. And you know, sometimes you get inside the car and your face feels like it's going to explode. It's so hot. You've been in the store only an hour and you're already feeling like you're about to, you know, explode. And between you turning on the car and it finally cooling, your makeup is just melting off. You know, so I want to know, how good is that makeup? Is it going to stay on, or am I going to have streaks before I get anywhere? So I thought there has to be some other people that are like me. They want to know about something. So I thought, I'll do this. And so I'm just there to help those people that are like me and they want to know, whether it's the makeup, whether it's this, which eventually I'm going to make a video about if you don't have this, you know, how to make your own. Because of what happened with my brush cleaner. I go into Dillard's and I'm expecting them to always have it, and they actually didn't have my brush cleaner, and I don't have a Mac store here. So hopefully the videos will help. I don't know, I just figured that when I see these things, it helps me, and hopefully it helps someone else. Hopefully it helps you. I make, you know, my videos anywhere between makeup and, you know, dog food, and how to close a cage, you know, how to flatten it down so you can store it. I saw several videos, because I no longer have the instructions for mine. It came with a one sheet of instruction in there, and well, after a while you don't have it anymore. So I watched several videos before I made my video, because they weren't, my cage wasn't flattening down the way, you know, they said theirs did in their video. It turned out mine was just a little bit different. So that helps some people. That helps a few people. So that's good. And when I hear that it helps them, that someone just told me actually today that after watching it, they were able to flatten theirs in 30 seconds. And I thought, wow, that's super. It's like super fast. So that makes me feel good knowing that I was able to help somebody else. And hopefully soon I'll make a video on something like this. Like if you don't have this, how to make your own. Because, well, I don't have my my brush cleaner, and I had to improvise. I went into the Dillard's assuming that they would have it. They didn't have it. They were out. and I don't have a Mac store here. And well, until they get in there and I'm on a waiting list for it, I had to improvise. So I didn't want to just use soap and water because it makes a whole bunch of mess. And anyway, so I had to do something like that. So in case they're out of this, I want to, you know, figure something out and make my own. And maybe somebody, that one might help somebody and not break the bank. Maybe you can't afford, whoops, you can't afford to always spend $16 on this when maybe you can make it for less than $5 or even half, maybe $8, you know, whatever it is. I have to try it and see how can I do that. So whatever it is, whether it's, like I said, makeup to dog food or whatever, or how to play a video game, because I play video games with my kids too. I hope that I'm helping you or entertaining you, who knows, because sometimes, you know, the dogs can get really silly. I hope it helps you, and I just want to say thank you to the 91 subscribers that we do have, because that makes us all feel good. And I just want to say thank you so much, and I hope I continue to help you as well as my kids, because they make their own videos. So whether you're watching for the makeup, the dog food, the I even have one on respooling a weed eater. So whether it's a weed eater or playing a game, so you know how to beat that level. I just want to say thank you very much. And if no one has told you today, I hope you know that you are wonderful, you are beautiful, and you inspire someone every day, because you surely inspire us. Thank you. Bye-bye.